the question he asked me was, what would you do if you could have, all the money in the world? I was like, what? I want to organize a festival in the desert underneath the sky full of stars, and I want to program music and, guide people into this journey. And then he said, okay, let's do it.
Hello, entrepreneurs, and welcome to today's episode of our podcast dedicated to navigate you throughout the process of finding your true, authentic self. This is Entrepreneurship, the soul driven life approach to entrepreneurship, and we are your hosts, Yana and Leah. And today we have a very special guest. Helena, it's a pleasure for us to have you here. Can you make just a quick introduction of yourself? Like, who is Helena Ho?
Hi, who's Helena Ho? Well, I love everything there is to know about mystical arts and science. All my life, I've been um, harmonizing people with space and time. So I used to do that as a DJ, and now I use the tools of Chinese metaphysics to connect people with their houses and destinies. And all of it is always with the goal to make people happier or feel good in their surroundings.
Oh, that's very interesting. Chinese metaphysics and Feng Shui. What is that? What is that actually?
Yeah, Feng Shui is a study that analyzes the quality of our environment, energy-wise. Not everyone knows about it, but we all have this experience when you walk into a space that feels really off or uncomfortable, right? Or Feng Shui is also the feeling of chaos when you are in a busy shopping mall, or the feeling when you're finally able to think clear when you walk in the forest, when you're like very stressed and you need to have some space. This is all like Feng Shui. Our environment has a huge influence on how we feel and how we perform in life. So my job is to create the optimal setting for people to feel good and to be at their best so they can go out and achieve their dreams.
Wonderful. And maybe you don't know, I asked the question, what is it for our audience? But I'm currently working with Helena, and it's so interesting. She told me a few of the highlights is that this week, on 21st of June, I'm entering into a 10-year new period of my life where a lot will happen and great wealth awaits. So it's very interesting.
This sounds good.
I've been doing the abundance meditation with Deepak Chopra, so I hope it's working. Maybe that's why I'm entering into this period, because of all this manifesting abundance. But abundance is not only money, right? Abundance is having great people, emotions, experiences around you, just living a fulfilled life full of love and joy, and basically following the principles of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, abundance is, the feeling that you can also share and give, instead of like, looking for it and wanting it. Yeah. I I'm super excited to work with you on this in this new period. Every 10 years, the energy changes, and that gives us new opportunities, new situations. We go through, we also have different, like our abilities change. And if you notice ahead, and you prepare your plans and prioritize, it can be a really, really, nice journey. I always like to mention this metaphor about a plant to visualize what feng shui is, because your plants in your house, like it really matters where you place the plant, how it grows. So you could say that, yeah, the plant is still alive, but look at it. How does it look? How does it look happy? You know, if you move it maybe to the window to another corner, it can grow bigger and perhaps it can even, flower or bloom like a flower. So the question is, are you currently surviving or, do you want to become a flower? So that is the power of feng shui and the environment.
Oh, I love that. I recently moved one of my plants to the bedroom and it started blossoming. In years, it hasn't blossomed. So probably we're doing something right in the bedroom.
Well, it's funny that you're mentioning that because yeah, that and also like if the energies are well, then it would also mean better chances to produce children or yeah, that all makes sense. It's all like growth energy. Yeah, good.
Right. No more babies, please. No more babies. 2 babies enough. Now Leah has to make the babies.
Oh,
Mhm.
we do have time ahead. Oh, Helena, thank you for sharing this and for how long you've been doing actually this. For how long you've been in the Feng Shui.
It's since 2020. Yeah,
And
2020.
what was your life before that? Like, was
Um,
it connected with this as well?
well, looking back, my life has always been like this. Everywhere I came, I was always moving things around and making my space. So as a DJ, I started to do events because I had an idea how the lights should be and how everything should be in place in order for me to play the music. But I was always doing 2 jobs. So I worked in corporate life and then DJing on the side. Um, but at some point there was I met a person or I had this interaction and long story short, the question he asked me was, what would you do if you could have, all the money in the world? And I was like, what? But I'm a person, I know this. So I just like, I want to organize a festival in the desert underneath the sky full of stars. And I want to program music from sunset until sunrise in the morning and, guide people into this journey. And then he said, okay, let's do it. I was like, what? I couldn't believe this. I was like, I went home and I started to call and make because I was afraid that any time, this idea or this person would back out. So, and then yeah, it was super super crazy. 3 or 4 months later, we no, I don't know if it's actually 4 months later, but very short term, we had a festival in the desert close to Marrakesh, and there was like 200 people around the world flew in to have this one experience together, and it was a life-changing moment for me because it wasn't all great. I mean, I have to say that the point from starting and organizing. I never organized an event in my life. I've never been to the desert. I had this idea to provide accommodation in a place that has no water, no electricity, like nothing at all. But I thought I have the best people in Holland that organize festivals, so we all know what to do. But it's a complete different place. So it was really overconfidence and it was very hard. It was very tough. But when it was there, and the fact that we were able to do it, that gave me like such a boost that I felt I can do anything, everything is possible. And all the things in my head that I think I need to do this before I can do that, it's not necessarily right. So yeah, that was the moment when I wanted to make more impact in people's lives. And I loved working in corporate up until a point when maybe also I went back in that time in a different life cycle because at some point I didn't understand what I was doing and what it mattered. And if I would stop doing it, what would it change, in the at the end? So that's when I took a mortgage. I was preparing this, so I was preparing myself because I thought I need like a couple of months to start up, and then it will go smooth and great, because I was in contact with someone with an event for the Eurovision Song Festival. There was a city parade in Marrakesh. It seemed super big, so I I didn't even think of the possibility that things could go wrong. And then it was 20 February 2020, and I was also thinking this date is amazing, so all meant to be. It is all meant to be, but not in a way that I thought it would be, because a few months later, the lockdown came and Corona came. And me, so overconfident, I still thought, oh my God, this is a chance. This is such a big opportunity because the market is now disrupted and everyone is, solving problems. But I was already prepared, to go in. So let's go and find, the opportunities now. And so that also sort of happened. I was able to speak because the idea was to bring that experience design, that's sort of like, the fusion of music and art and the whole experience, and offer it to companies to, present their products or services in a special way. That was the idea. So when everything was disrupted, I went out. I was having these great ideas for an interactive museum using, empty spaces of the clubs. And there were a lot of like these big opportunities happening. But then, it took longer than we thought. So it was a very stressful period, because you were planning something and then it didn't happen, and then the rules changed, and the resources were just difficult, and I had no experience as well. So with zero experience going in, I think that was also the reason why I was able to do it, because I had no experience and I didn't have any, ideas of things that could go wrong. But yeah, that was,
You
yeah,
had the beginner's mind.
yeah,
Beginner's
beginner's
mind.
mind, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a child who is learning how to do ski. Like
Yeah.
he has no fear of
Hmm.
falling down.
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly.
These little children, when you see them 2 years old, 3 years old, I'm struggling there on the ski slope. They just go.
Exactly.
And this man that you met, that sort of changed your mindset. When we had the call together about my chart, you mentioned a fortune nobleman. Was this the fortune nobleman for you? This person that said, "Let's just do it."
Yeah, so in your destiny chart, when you see this, it means that in that period of time, you will have the opportunity to meet many people that can be helpful for your way. So I definitely see this going back, that there was loads of people stepping in out of the blue that were contributing in some sort of a way. So it's because the energy is there, you still need to go out and do things in order to meet them. So it really depends on what you do, and then yes, that person is definitely one, and all of them, the people that also were, oh yeah, we'll get to that. But how I became to know about Feng Shui was also a nobleman that just passed my across my path. Yeah.
Yeah, when was that? Was that after the desert rave?
Yes, that was one of the, that was maybe the first project that was able to continue. And I somehow got in contact with a project in Primavera, which is a company that produces essential oils. And this is also funny in a way, because all my life I had this idea that I wanted to make a perfume. I have very strong sense, like I smell very strong, I've always been, and it somehow just interests me. And there I was. I just fell into this paradise. It's literally a paradise. The company is like located in the Alps and it has a huge garden. And the CEO of that company, he's a Feng Shui master. So when I came there, I immediately felt so good. And when I got to know the people there, the people, they were working there all their lives. And I thought it was so interesting. And when I found out about it, I just got like curious and that like the seed was planted. I didn't follow up immediately because I was still focused on my own idea of doing these projects.
Yeah.
But that was the moment that the seed was planted, yeah.
So interesting. And he was your master.
He was a master. Now, not mine, but he was a feng shui master. And he had everything. I saw him walking around with his compass and also measuring where he was putting things. And I was just fascinated by it. I thought it was very intriguing. I've always been sort of interested in mystical, magical things. When I was young, I imagined me being like Matilda, you know, like, I don't know, being able to move things, or that was my favorite story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matilda by Roland Dahl.
Roald Dahl, yeah.
Roald Dahl is very interesting. You know, he also writes adult books, which are very dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
there's a book called My Uncle Oswald. It's
Okay.
very, very interesting, small book. Uh, yeah, he's a very creative guy. We love him here. We read Roald Dahl a lot. Sparking your creativity, it's something really important to develop in children.
Definitely.
So you're practicing this magical, you have this magical profession and you're practicing this. So what about your own personal life? How do you balance work with life, and maybe share what is your favorite morning or evening routine, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, these tools and systems, they are it's life. It's about it touches every aspect of life. So it changes everything that I do right now. So my my day, how I start. Yeah, I really love the mornings. Like as a DJ, I was mostly up during the night, but I really loved at the end going home when it's sort of like the energy is very like peaceful and calm and clean. So I love to wake up very early so that I have the space for myself, and then I go through the house and I wake up the house too. So I talk to my plants and I put some aromas in the house and wake up the body, of course, drinking water. Um, then I think that the mornings are also very important to start the day with intention and take your time, because it how you start, it matters for the rest of the day. It's difficult, you know, when you start in a stress to, of course you can take it back, but it's more work. But I obviously, for me, it's like a luxury because I don't have responsibilities in the morning, and but still, I think it's good to create this space for yourself in any kind of situation. My favorite thing is to do yoga in the morning as well, and up until very recently, this was something I did with my partner every morning. And I know this is so, for me, this is maybe our favorite thing that we do together, because this was sort of like a rule. Doesn't matter how grumpy or whatever was going on, we went to the mat together. And always during this practice, you always find each other. It's very bonding if you do. So that's like something I can really, recommend if there's an opportunity to do this. But now he's recently started to work at the beach clubs here, so he's coming home very late, so it's not happening now. But yeah, that's a routine I really love.
I
So
can relate to that yoga with the partner. He even asked me, we recently celebrated the wedding anniversary, and he asked me, name three things from the past 10 years that are a highlight. And one of the things I mentioned is us starting to go to yoga together every Friday morning. We used to do it, but unfortunately we don't do it anymore. What type of yoga do you do in the morning? Can you share? Do you just watch a YouTube video, or you have a membership somewhere, or you do your own thing?
I do yoga with Adrienne. I love her. I think she's like, I think she's really, yeah, like, she just, yeah, she has a nice like sort of way of how she talks, and we started doing this like about a year and a half ago, and I sort of stick with it. I also
Mm.
didn't really looked in other things, and it's also a nice way to get into the manifestation that follows. Either I do it before, usually actually I do it before, um, but yeah.
Mm. So you do your manifestation, you do your yoga with Adrian. Maybe we can share a link for people to
Yeah.
get inspired. And and then what do you do then after the yoga? Do you have breakfast?
Yes, I have breakfast. I have breakfast, and this is also, of course, with all the tools that I work with, I look into the energies of the day. So I look, um, what are the things that I can do, and where I am going to sit in the space. That's my next thing, and then I'm just going to start the day with. It can be different things. I like to talking about balancing. My day all day or is about work. I am really hooked to working. I'm very like it's really something I want to do as well. I wouldn't there's nothing else that I want to do. But sometimes if I have too many meetings, that really exhausts me. So I've learned how to recognize what is really draining me, and then have enough time in between or change the activity in order to balance the energy. So I think that is a process of getting to know yourself, getting to know what is easy and what is costing you more energy, and recognizing when you feel off, and then do something about it, change the system. I have routines, so I'm a really routine kind of person in a way, that I have this sort of things to fall back on. If I feel this, then I can do this. So for example, if I feel like overloaded, I go outside and ground my feet. But you don't need to have a beach to do that. You can also lay on the floor flat and do breathing, for example, or
Mm.
have a tuning. I have tuning forks. You can use a singing bowl with metal. You can, tune your frequency. So you need to find something that you like to do that is easy for you to do, so that whenever you recognize, okay, this is my energies are low now, that you can low effort do something to get it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And uh,
wonderful.
and I was interested, as you said, you were in corporate before that. How did this changed for you? Like, how did the work-life balance shifted while you were in corporate to now being an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Yeah, because I work by myself, I have more like freedom to manage my time, because thinking back, the back-to-back meetings, pretty, that's intense. That's intense for everyone. Yeah, to go from one meeting to the other meeting. And I think that the new offices right now, some of them, they have spaces for people to maybe,
Have their own
yeah,
place to do
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe a gym or something, or maybe you can go outside. But for me, what changed is that I'm really aware of the effect, of the impact of your energy, and that should have the priority first before you move to something else. Because in order to prevent problems or conflicts or, when your moods are down, nothing good actually can come out of it. So that's just a simple, like, sort of thing, or not rule, but um, yeah, that I just take into consideration with everything I do. If I have the choice, of course. Yeah.
I recently went into a very busy office in Amsterdam, and my friend was showing me where she was sitting in this big hall in an open desk, and I just felt sick to my stomach. I just couldn't imagine that I'm I'm having this life the way I used to. I would never go back to such a busy place. I'm so used to the energy that I've created. Sometimes I have anxiety when I go for a business meeting. I had a business meeting 2 weeks ago with a new client, and I had a little bit of an anxiety in the train. And then I was happy they weren't there yet, so I could sit down. I started breathing a little bit. I ordered some water, and then they came, and I was like, "Oh, that's
I totally feel you in this. I totally feel you in this. But the thing is that, our body and our system is trained to get used to things. So, in the beginning for us, because
Adapt.
because we are out of it, we feel this way. But if you put yourself there for a while, you will be able to adapt. It's not healthy because, you're like, disabling a lot of features in your system. But I think that what you're doing is the best approach. Take your time, make sure that you arrive early so that you can at least, choose your spot and not having lower chances of having extra risks of panic and stress that can add on top of it. I think
yeah."
that's the only way because, we cannot always control our environment. We just also need to, try to feel comfortable or know how to deal with situations that are, less feels less nice. But yeah, I think that's the best that you can do with it. And that's where the planning comes in. If the energies of the day, you can choose days that are better for you so that you increase the chances that you will feel good because your health is matters how you will be able to resist the outside conditions. If your energies are low, you're more sensitive to negative energies outside. But if you're super high, if you're feeling super good, someone can come, and make a problem with you. It doesn't matter, it cannot affect you.
Oh, I love that. And you know what was interesting? After the session with you, somehow it was a little bit magical, but also I went to this party. Uh, it wasn't too busy party. It was in this wine shop in Amsterdam, and I had the feeling like I see everybody, like I see them the way they are. It was so creepy. So I saw a few people had bad intentions, and I had this really creepy feeling. And I saw some people. One person was like insecure, trying to find its place, a little bit fidgeting around, and a few people were like very open-hearted. And I said, "What happened to me? Why am I so sensitive?" All of a sudden, it's like we unlocked something.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you're saying this because, look, okay, so in your case, you have a very strong and high quality intuition or ability to
Mhm.
feel. So it's all about directing your attention and then training it. But I also I hear this very often after my sessions that immediately things are changing. Like this person, he told me this, like he has a similar sort of quality like you have that he left here and he all of a sudden had this idea to step into the train and then to go to Amsterdam, and then he was just following his intuition, and then he just entered a shop. In front of him he saw an item that he was thinking of that morning to use in a photo shoot for his artistic career, and it was just right in front of him, the thing that he wanted. And then I was like, what? Because I told him, that you have the ability to find, the things that you need or find solutions if you focus your attention. So yeah, that is, it's really about, because we simply cannot see or be conscious about everything. Yeah, so this feeling that when you bought something and then you go outside and then you see it everywhere, like you bought new sunglasses and then that's the thing that you see, or that's because our mind is filtering what is on our mind.
Currently,
Yeah.
what is currently on focus
Yes, our
somehow.
focus. Yeah, that's what you see. So if you recognize that you're seeing a lot of problems in the world, they are there definitely, but it's also your focus and vibration then. So
Mm-hmm.
that could be intentionally shifting it to something that is magical or positive. Yeah.
Talking about focus, what I was thinking is that, like, quitting a corporate job and moving to entrepreneurship, like entrepreneurial life, in the beginning especially, there is no focus. You have no idea where you are. You have no idea what exactly you're doing. You're
Hmm.
doing too many things. And moving to this, what challenges were you faced?
Yeah, so I think the challenge I face, one is like being patient because in that mood, you have these great ideas and you just expect everyone to understand that immediately and just go and do it, and then it doesn't happen. And then, that was a struggle to finding out how to articulate ideas, how to communicate this. Then there were all these aspects here from setting up a website, just like the practical things. But I kind of like enjoyed this process, and for me it was that happened during the lockdown, so we couldn't do anything. And I remember that time, because I was so confident that this was a gap, or this was a chance for me, I disabled my internet for maybe 2 months or something. Like I didn't go social, I like not internet, social media, sorry, because I couldn't all the messages about the
The COVID.
anxiety, etc. I didn't want to allow that to enter my head. And I went like a mad person buying books about everything that you can think of. So I have books here about selling, visual doing, presentations, even like typography, branding, all the parts that because you start. I didn't buy them at once, but you start to do something and then you find out, okay, I don't know how to do that. Okay, so then you need to learn that. And then you start there, okay, oh shit, I need to know that too. So that was the whole, yeah, a big adventure. And but yeah, I think that the problems and or how I was at that time is that I was very fixated on results. So I had this sort of idea, and then that idea really needed to happen in that way. And then when it didn't happen, I was just like broken, like really, like I remember that there was something that everything seemed to be going into the direction of happening, and then it didn't happen, and then I was in my bed for like 3 weeks. I couldn't face the world. I felt like I failed, and yeah, so that is something that I'm happy that that's not not part of my life anymore. But at that time, that was something that took a lot of energy, like really like pushing and trying and fighting for something to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. They say that your first two companies are a fail, and maybe with the third one you succeed. I
Well,
read
yeah.
this. Huh?
This is the
Okay,
third one.
this is the third one. So this is the one. This is the
This
one.
is the one.
Yeah.
No, this is definitely the one. And the reason also why it was so difficult is because it wasn't exactly the thing that I needed to do. So I was doing too many things that I'm not good at. I'm doing too many things that give me stress, that bring me into problems. So because everything that has to do with production and putting budgets together to create something, that process, I'm really bad at that. I'm really good at ideas, but then executing that brought me stress. So I think that when you really focus on doing what you are good at, you will find the resources and people around you to do the rest. And that is a different kind of stress than doing something that you actually are not good at, or that you're doing something that you don't like. So I think up until this point, I was good at sales, but I didn't really give it my best. So then the feeling, yeah, it's like, um, now, for example, I'm really proud of myself because I feel like I achieved, like I did something, or I achieved something on my own and that I'm good at. And before that time, it was just like half, I put half my work in it, and it
Mm.
wasn't, I was also always relying on other people's knowledge. I didn't know a lot about IT, but I came away, I got away with it. But
Mm.
it's not a nice feeling actually if you just get away with it, or you go to work and you get a lot of money, but you know that you didn't actually did a lot or something. I don't know
Mm.
if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
now it's like, I know, I put a lot of effort, and I see the results now. I see how it's growing, and that is a really nice feeling, for yourself, for your, I think, yeah, without, having the success, just that you are able to do something good.
Yeah, absolutely. And be passionate about it. And also with entrepreneurship, you really need to believe in it, right? To be able to go forward and fight for it and really believe in it. Because we do have failure on the way and we do have fuck ups. And sometimes it looks inevitable, like it's never going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
What you said about this, I deeply resonated with this, and I believe many of the entrepreneurs went through this. Like, you need to learn how to delegate. You need to learn how to, like, no, yes, I'm not good at this. I need to find a person who can take care of this because I'm very good at this certain thing, and I need to push in only this direction.
Hmm.
And the business will grow because I'm good at this exact thing. I
Hmm.
know I need all of those other stuff, but I can, find people who can take care of them in order for me to go in that specific direction where I'm good,
Hmm.
in what I'm good at.
Hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes knowing what you're good at is also difficult for us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, realizing what are you good at and also where do you want to go. When you start working with Helena, she asks you, where do you want to go? What do you want? And what is stopping you to get there? And these simple questions, I was like, um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Not that simple though.
you should be prepared for the moment that, that one person comes by and asks you, what if you had all the money in the world, What would you do, right? You don't want to miss that opportunity then.
Oh, that's amazing. I have to. Leo. We have to make a plan. With because here Helena told me Fortune Nobleman is coming, so he's gonna ask us the question.
Yeah,
We need to be
yeah,
prepared for this fortune man.
yeah. But we're laughing about it, but this is absolutely, how it works, because every day you go out, you meet
Mm.
people, you see certain, situations. Remember the focus, right? If you have a very clear idea where you want to go, so having a clear idea, but being but being aware that that doesn't need to happen. So it's like this. It's being relaxed, but having it clear so that you're able to, adapt, and you're also able to see other directions. But you need this in order to recognize or know how to speak with someone, because your focus is, okay, I need helpful people that can help me to get more exposure, for example. Let's say that is what you need, then you need to have it very clear so that when you go out and someone would say something, you're like, hey, that is
Yeah.
someone, that could, yeah. So I think but it's understandable that we don't know this sometimes, because it's, the older we get, there's just a lot of things that are piling up, and then maybe, your house is also piling up with stuff, and you also need to do a lot of things like working moms, so there's basically no space to think that you can also, ask for something or need something other than surviving the day.
Yeah. And I will share an example here. My husband made a post on LinkedIn and it exploded. He basically shared when he was between jobs, I was chasing him with this little notebook and I was like, tell
Oh, an
me,
amazing post.
yes, tell me what you want. Tell me what kind of job this doesn't work. Stop with this bullshit. Stop following me. I was like, no, I'm not going to stop following you until I get your answer. So, what kind of company do you imagine? He said, mid-sized company, maybe with an equity, in the wellness sector, this and that. Without the maybe, I wrote down everything in detail. How he's a CEO of this company, and he's doing good to society. So he's now CEO of this reformer Pilates company, and and many months later, I was traveling, and he called me. He said, "I found a piece of paper in this little messy drawer that we have,
Yeah.
and it's exactly what I'm doing now."
Mm.
And I said, "You see," and I was even thinking to make a TED talk about a little messy drawer full of dreams
Yeah.
because he gave me the answer and then we put it away. We put it in a drawer. So
Hmm.
it was there. And he even forgot talking to me,
Yeah.
but it did happen at the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the power of our thoughts, and intent is incredibly strong, and this is just, yeah, a beautiful example, how this shows. I also did, like, now I remember, like, it was beginning of this Chinese New Year. Um, a friend gave me a present with a bottle with also like a note, and you should write a note on it, she said, and then you put it away. But me and my boyfriend, we went outside to the beach, and I had this idea, throw it in the water, and then who knows where it goes. But the stream goes like this, of course, so I mean, we did try to throw it as far as we could, but I have no idea if it was able to leave Zandvoort, or it's just like
Stayed
It's
on the
back.
beach. It's
yeah, it's still on
waiting
the
for
beach.
you.
But doesn't matter, for me, it is out in the world.
And what type of, was it a wish for you guys or something that you're giving to the world?
It's both. So my wish for myself is something that connects, giving something to the world. Yeah, it was very big. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
So maybe, Helena, as a closing words, you can tell us more about this. Our listeners heard your story, heard what you are exactly doing. Maybe you can walk us through the process of how they can start working with you if you want,
Mm.
and uh, and yeah, what will they receive at the end of this work with you? They're going to become even better people. They're going to become happier.
All of that. All of that. I think I honestly, yeah, believe and want to let people know that these tools are so valuable in any sort of aspects. So if you feel that you're stuck, if you feel unsure about things, if you want to do something but you're hesitating, if you want to know how to live your like best potential and best life, then these tools can give you that information. So how it works, the first step is getting to know who you are and what are your talents. What are your talents? This will, when you do something that is your talent, it means that if you are going to train it or if you use it, so you learn by either experience or study, it means that you will be able to grasp it faster than other people. You'll become, and that gives us a good feeling, because, we have a high reward. So if you do that, then if you find a job that connects with that talent, it will be easy for you to do it. It's the path of least resistance. So usually people come to me and then there is already some chaos and so what I do is I use everything in my possibility. So using the luck time or using the environment to create like the ideal configuration that gives the highest possibility to achieve the thing that you want to do. But these these information is like it gives you confidence because most of the time you already know this. You already know this. So this gives an opportunity for you to trust that feeling and go for it. If you are at a certain point, you don't need to use these tools anymore because when you're walking the path of your destiny, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the ideas that come to your mind, they become better and better.
Mm.
Yeah, so you'll have a greater intuition. You'll have, you have the experience already that this is going well and that this can succeed. So really what I do is I give you a good start, a really good start to change the course of your life. Destiny is not something that is fixed. Some people think that you have a purpose in life. Mm, the moment that you are born, it gives you the energy is a frequency and it connects to certain behavior, a certain nature.
Mm.
So it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. So destiny is something that you can create. So I show you your options. These are all options that are good and within your capacity. And then you choose what you want to do. And then I create the ideal configuration for you so that you
Mhm.
will be able to succeed.
And this is also connected with the space you live in, right?
Yes.
That's where the
Mm-hmm.
Feng Shui comes. And the second meeting that we're going to have is Helena's going to come to the house and make a special chart, right? And also evaluate and give you advice
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
on.
unbelievable that the qualities and the opportunities that sit in our house, because these are all like invisible, so we don't see it. But the house, the moment that the house was built, also captures an energy, just like when you were born. And um, just knowing, I think just knowing that there is like 1/3 of your life depends of your house, so that the quality of your life, 1/3 is coming from your environment. That means that if you are doing your best, if you really, really do everything you do that you can do, you can only do like 2/3. Yeah.
Mm,
So if you want to grow, if you want to really like get to that next level, like the flower, the plant, if you want to bloom, that's the environment. That's the environment. So,
mhm,
and sometimes in the environment, I can find, you know, the obstacles, the reasons why it's not flowing. So, this is something that everyone can do without me coming over. If the energy isn't flowing in your house, like flowing means like stagnated energy. Um, So clutter, yeah. If your front door opens to a pile of jackets and shoes and maybe empty boxes that you're thinking of putting away but are still standing there for, months, that means that no opportunities can enter your life or enter your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that the front door, that's where things come in. And yeah, what you see is, becomes your reality. Then,
Yeah. I did a closet in my corridor where I put everything behind closed doors, and ever since I did that, I could feel the energy flowing.
yeah, it works so fast. Like feng shui, it can work, within few weeks. Like I had this client, it's amazing. She wrote a book, and the book, for some reason, she didn't understand why she wasn't able to find a publisher to do it. And I looked in a chart, and everything seemed, that it was within the capacity. So either the book was really bad written, but
Mm.
then I came to the house, and the door, the entrance, it was very narrow, and also like the jackets and stuff. So I haven't seen how it is now, but she told me that she had a custom made closet. She removed a lot of shoes and jackets because, yeah, I told her it's a choice. Yeah, it's either you want 10 shoes or, you want the book to be published.
Yeah.
It's that. No, but really, every centimeter, every piece of your space that you occupy with something, yeah, is, has an impact, in your life. So she did that. And now all of a sudden, this is happening just a few days ago. She's going to pitch her book, for an investor. Partner, love entered her life. Like a lot of things started to change. Noble people, helpful people came into the life. And that is a synergy between time, her efforts, and the space. So what she was missing was the space. And then all of it was also strengthened with time energy. But this was just like, for me, really motivating to share this so that, sometimes we don't need to do big things for,
Mm-hmm.
things to happen. Like these kind of, efforts can change. And I'm happy that you have this experience as well. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I hope many people is gonna be influenced by your work, and I hope we can help other people to live a better life. So we're gonna link Helena's profile and contacts here, so you can find her. If not, you're gonna send her a message. We can help you get in touch. So thank you very much for today's call. This was wonderful, very inspiring, and again, we've learned a lot, Leah.
For sure.
Thank you
Those
too.
those talks are absolutely amazing because they give you so many different perspectives and so many different human lives, like their experiences. And it's beautiful to be connected and to be able to help each other with our stories.